UFO Reporting Center?
Yeah, down here in Caldwell.
Yes.
And I'm a police officer, and last night I observed an object. It was about, 2,500 meters from me on an angle of about, 45 degrees. Flying, at first I thought it was an aircraft, Piper Cub, but it was flying slower than an aircraft or a Piper Cub would at its stall speed.
Yes.
And it had two real bright landing lights. Now, we just put a new airport in out here, and it was, at first it looked to me like it was trying to find the approach pattern for it, but I don't think so. And the other thing that struck me about it is the running lights on it were reversed. There would be in other words, the red was to the left, or to the port side rather than the starboard side.
Mm-hmm.
And the green was just opposite. Now, this was about 0 to 100 hours. And I was going to hit it with my spotlight, and I backed off because about that time I started having some dogs howling, which indicated possibly some criminal activity, and I pulled off and went over to that area, which was, fairly close to where I was, and there, to see what was causing the dogs to howl, and I could find nothing, and I didn't even think about looking back, but the object wasn't there anymore.
Did you actually see the fuselage or outline of the object?
No, I couldn't make an outline out. But if it were an aircraft, it'd have to be one of the slowest aircrafts I've ever seen.
Okay. How about altitude and distance from you?
Okay, from my position, it was on an azimuth of about, I'd say north, it was at about 2,500 meters from me, at about a 45-degree angle.
Mm-hmm.
40 to 45-degree angle. I would say probably altitude would be somewhere around, 500 feet.
Okay. Any sound at all?
That's the other thing that kind of puzzles me. I didn't hear any sound at all.
Was this thing on the move?
Yes, it was moving.
Okay.
It was moving on a west to easterly pattern. I would say, basically west to east, possibly a little east to southeast direction.
Okay, now
primarily east.
Could you give us any estimate on the size?
Like I say, it would have been larger than a standard single-engine aircraft.
Okay.
But again, the main reason I'm reporting it was we had another report of it tonight, and the other person that was reporting it was probably 25 to 30 miles from my area.
Okay.
And again, like I say, it was odd, and I thought at the time, God, that's a slow-moving aircraft. And the fact that I didn't hear any sound was odd, and like I say, I almost hit it with a spotlight, threw the spotlight on it, but I didn't.
Now, those barking dogs, was that quite widespread?
No, because there's only one or two dogs. I was in what we call our industrial area.
I see.
And the dogs in our industrial area were barking. And there were a couple of them out there, and I could find no activity, no strange vehicles. At 2 o'clock in the morning, you get to know what vehicles are supposed to be where.
Right.
And there were no vehicles in my area that weren't supposed to be there. There was no suspicious activity, no criminal activity that I could find.
Okay. And that other party that called in, did anyone record the name of the witness?
It should be on a CR at the Caldwell Police Department. I believe that information was left for you.
Okay.
I know our dispatcher called it in.
Okay. Well, we sure appreciate this report, and we'll get on this, and if we come up with any additional information.
Another thing now, I went over to our new airport shortly thereafter, in a routine patrol, and there was no activity there, so I don't think the plane was, whatever it was trying to land.
Okay.
Because that's one thing I got to thinking about. And I did go over to the new airport.
that was 2 a.m. this morning.
It's about 2 a.m. this date.
Okay. Okay, thanks again.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right.
I'm calling for the UFO Reporting Center in Washington. And we talked to your wife earlier today. I wonder if we could get a rundown of the object that you saw on the night of the 22nd, or the morning of the 22nd.
UFO Reporting Center?
Right. What we'd like to do is just get your version of exactly what happened.
Okay, we're coming, you want the location?
Yes, please.
Okay, we were driving from Chico to Yuba City. We just passed through a town called Gridley. This would be we were approximately 13 miles from Yuba City.
Uh-huh.
We were between two small towns, 5 miles apart, just leaving Gridley. And
what highway would that be on?
Okay.
What highway would that be on?
That would be Highway 99.
Okay.
Good. And above the trees, this was a route we usually travel, there appeared a bright light that had a little bit of an effect on my eyes. It didn't exactly blind me, but it was sort of that dimension.
Did you have a tendency to turn away from it?
A little bit, but
Uh-huh.
It wasn't so blinding that I couldn't see oncoming traffic, but it was pretty bright.
Right.
And it looked like it was, I would say, whiter than yellow. And it was, it looked like sort of a giant frisbee shape, only it was all light. And it was above the trees, and I at first thought that somebody had mounted a light on a high tower. And I kept watching, and I said, "Oh, it must be an airplane." I said, "Well, how come it isn't moving?" And we drove along with our eyes fixed on it like that, and it didn't move. And it stayed in that location for, I guess I had estimated at, didn't move for maybe a minute and a half. And as we got closer, like I say, we were going to drive up, and there would be a high tower with a light on it that somebody had put there, because we're used to traveling.
Yes.
Or else we would, the thing would turn or something, and we'd discover that it had been an airplane, and we were making we just had a little illusion. The light slowly moved across the highway, and as we drove alongside, it sort of turned and was going parallel, only in our direction. And I estimated, then the light went out, or I couldn't see the bright light anymore. There was this object up above us that was, I estimated initially at 500 feet, but I think it was lower than that, probably more like 250 feet.
Uh-huh.
It was close enough so I could make out that it wasn't an airplane. And I was trying to think that it must be some kind of a giant helicopter. Now, this is at 12:30 in the morning.
Right.
And I was in traffic, and on a two-lane highway, and I was trying to pull over. And then it sort of changed, but I noticed that in other words, its appearance, because it turned sort of a slight curve back towards us or behind us, like it made a large arc. Only it was, I had the feeling that I was looking at the side of it, and then it sort of turned, went behind us, and crossed back over the highway. But while I was doing that, I could clearly see that it wasn't an airplane. It had several red lights in it, and I could see inside, and I had a feeling like I was looking at some kind of a platform,
like a space platform or something, only it wasn't that large. I'd say estimated to be about as large as our living room.
You say you could see inside of it?
Yeah. In other words, I could see through something.
I see. Okay.
It wasn't. My wife.
I'll tell him.
My wife had a different vantage point. She saw something different, but it was pretty close to us, and I was still trying to make out it being some kind of a different kind of aerocraft, like a giant helicopter, because it was larger than an ordinary helicopter.
Yes.
And I had an impression of shadows in there and several lights, and it was sort of illuminated, and there were, I also felt like it was black or gray structures, and a bottom and a top flatter level. But it didn't make, there wasn't a loud roar like an airplane would have made, but there was a noise. It was, that I didn't notice until after it had gone. And it went behind us and seemed to go quite a lot faster. And then it, I guess it went several miles away, and then the bright light appeared again, and it went parallel with us and along the distant horizon to the east.
Now, did that bright light seem to just engulf the whole object?
Yes.
Like a corona of light that built up around it?
Well, I wouldn't say corona. I just said the whole thing became that light again.
Right.
A bright, the whole thing became that light. And then it moved along. It was pretty easy to follow, except it got smaller and smaller. I thought, well, whatever it is, it disappeared. And I presumed it was some kind of experimental aircraft from the Air Force Base, which is nearby.
Yes.
Then there seemed to be some strange activity over on that horizon. We thought we were picking up the same lights, and then periodically there were several airplanes that flew by, and then the same bright light appeared again on that horizon and looked like it was coming back toward us, only it never came that close again. And we thought we'd lost it. Meanwhile, we were stopping and starting and looking. The activity stayed quite a distance away on the horizon.
Okay.
Then we got into Yuba City. Now we've traveled about 8 miles, and we've seen this activity over on the horizon twice, and it fixed again on the second occasion. It fixed for a while and then moved, and again it seemed like the bright light would change, and there would be the impression of several red lights, and at times I thought I saw a blue light, and again I thought, well, am I mixing up an airplane? But it was like 3 red lights and a blue light.
Yes.
Without a beam flashing back and forth or anything.
Okay, now what shape did this object have as you saw it?
Well, I didn't really make out the total shape. I had an impression of it was sort of more like two circular platforms connected with struts with sort of appendages, but it was the dark part of it was sort of the part I saw was in the dark, and my impression of it was that it was like 2 platforms with connections, and there I could see into it, and there were lights inside and some shadowy things. And then there were, like, I had an impression, but not clearly seen, of some extensions, like something else going off on the sides and going up.
Okay.
So it wasn't smooth.
Right.
Now, my wife's picture is a little bit different than that. Now, when we got to Yuba City, which is 13 miles from where we first saw this, and we were on our way home, we again saw the bright light. And this time it was sort of near our airport. So I thought, well, now this will explain it. We'll drive down there, and we'll see that they've got some kind of a experimental gadget. There's a lot of people around there, and they're making flights with this thing. So we drove down, and again it was fixed. Not exactly over the airport, but to the left of the airport, and it was fixed. And she says, let's drive under it. And I kept driving, and it stayed fixed. And it seemed like we were again going to go under it, and again the light went out, and the red lights and things became apparent. And then it really moved fast again along the horizon, made a curve, and we stopped, and it rapidly got to be, I'd say, about 10 miles away from us, or 5 or 10 miles away. And then went along, again going in a circular arc, parallel with where we were sitting, and then went out, we lost it in some trees, and then we didn't see it again.
Okay, now getting back to the first part, when you saw that first bright white light, at which point did the light disappear and the colored lights come on?
After it crossed the highway.
After it crossed in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I got an impression, I mean, at the time, I thought I couldn't figure out why the lights went out, but I thought like maybe the light shone on a certain side of it, and as it turned, the light would be on the other side, but it just seemed kind of strange that it just went out.
Uh-huh.
And
okay, now did you have the feeling that you were approaching the object, or the object was approaching you?
At first, well, it appeared out of nowhere. All of a sudden, it was just up there. And then, at first, I thought that it was staying still, and we were coming to the object. And then I thought, well, because I didn't think it was an object, I thought it was either some kind of a strange angle I had on an airplane, or else it was a light somebody had put up. And as I drove, God, that's strange. I'll tell you, towards the end, I had the feeling that it was sort of cat and mouse. If that makes any sense.
Did you have the feeling you were being watched?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that it was sort of cat and mouse.
Right.
That
Okay.
as we came closer, it moved away from us.
In your opinion, how big was that object? Could you compare it with anything?
Well, the thing we saw quite close to us, we tried to estimate it between ourselves, and I have a feeling it's about as big as our living room. How big is that, Evelyn?
Oh, 15. The part that I saw, I couldn't see the whole object at once, but I would estimate it to be about 18 feet. I have an entirely different angle on it, and I saw stuff you didn't see, so when you threw it in, I
varies as I try to estimate how high it was, but it was a lot closer than I've been to most aircraft.
Okay, now those struts that you saw, which you thought were separating the two circular platforms, how high would you say those struts were?
Well,
those were vertical struts?
Yeah.
Okay, how high would you say those were? Just, I know it's awful hard to make visual estimates.
I think I would say sort of like maybe like our living room ceiling, probably 8 feet.
Okay. Were they rotating by any chance?
The struts?
Right.
No, I couldn't tell.
Okay. And this object came directly over your vehicle?
It came
to my right.
Yeah, to the right of the vehicle, and I would guess it was like about 50 feet away, and then probably 250 feet above.
Okay. Okay, now I'd like to talk to your wife, get her.
Yeah. I think I got a better look at it. It must have, the way my husband described it, it must have turned around or something, but I was looking out the window. My window was rolled down, and we had stopped when it was finally just right out there. I saw it kind of coming in. I didn't see the bright light. It looked real dark, and yet as it was coming, it looked like it had something jutting out which wasn't big enough to be a wing, and it was kind of making an angle, and it looked like the same thing on the other side, but it was dark, and it looked behind and to my right of the thing jutting out, like there was space, like I was seeing the sky, or else it could have been a darkened window, but there was something that gave me the impression that there was space on, and then I wasn't seeing the complete top of it, but I was seeing the top of it, you know, as it was making an angle.
Right.
Then I was seeing from the face down, right, a very clear picture, and it was like a big barrel shape. I even saw the texture. I saw ridges standing like seams. I don't know how to describe them, like seams. I know I saw 2 seams and possibly more, but I could swear to 2 from the point beyond where I had seen the space, because I could no longer see the space. I was looking then from that on down, and it seemed like the shape of a big, bulky, round barrel. And it was, as the raised seams or ridges were together, it was very bumpy, different bumpy texture, you know, very raised bumpy. And I can't swear that the whole body was bumpy, but it was a dull finish, and it was, it might have been pounded. I don't remember now if the whole thing was bumpy, but I distinctly remember the bumpy pattern on these 2 seams that seemed to be, from where I was looking at it, at least sticking out 2 feet. All the way, pardon me, Tom, all the way around. Then I could see the color of being instead of a black, it was like an antique copper, a dark copper color. Brass, I mean, not copper, brass. And then I was trying to get my door open, and I couldn't. I'm peeking out, and then I saw on this thing that jutted out a very distinct U, because I was thinking, well, maybe it's going to say U.S., Air Force or something, but I thought, well, there wouldn't even be room for an S. It was a U, a definite U, which was maybe 2 feet all the way around, you know, like a double, you know, wide. And
you're talking about the letter U?
The letter U.
On the side of this thing?
On the thing that was jutting out.
Okay.
It wasn't big enough to be a wing. But
now, that was a
U-shaped thing.
Well, it was shaped like a U. I thought at the time it was a U-shaped thing. I think what probably happened is it turned us, and it looked like there was more figures on the other side, more white, that white, like white paint is what I was thinking of at the time. And but I couldn't make out the figures. It was because of the angle that it was at. And in speculation, I think that was lights coming through a clear white translucent plastic, like, you know, lights coming. I mean, white something, lights coming through. Perhaps as it turned at that certain angle, it lit up the body of the craft, so I could distinguish the 2 definite ridges or seams or whatever, and the texture and the color.
Okay, now you spoke of the object being shaped like a barrel. Would this be a barrel on its side or upright?
It would be on its side.
Okay.
And then my husband seems to describe it upright, so perhaps it should.
No, not upright.
Oh.
It didn't. What I saw didn't look like a barrel at all to me.
Well, this I could.
But we were looking at it at slightly
and
different
it was to my
times.
Right.
I couldn't really see an outline. You know, I just saw caught different glimpses of the stuff that was the outlines were different things. Because how did you see it? How was it illuminated that well?
Well, it must have been that must have been light instead of a big white paint. I don't know.
You didn't see any red lights, huh?
No, I didn't see any red. And he got out of the car and he saw the lights in front. I didn't see that at all.
Did you step out of the car?
Yeah, she saw it first.
Uh-huh.
I mean, she was looking out the side window, and she saw it, I guess, about
I thought it was
2 or 3 seconds.
circling our cars.
2 or 3 seconds before I saw it, and then I got out of the car and looked at it, and that's about the time it left us. And she was monkeying with her door at that time, so I saw it slightly different time than she did, but it was only a couple of seconds different, I think.
Okay.
Maybe 5 seconds.
Now, how long, in your estimate, would this entire operation last?
So from the time we first sighted it until the time...
Or the time we actually saw it right by our car.
Well,
you mean the whole event?
The duration of the whole event, yes.
We saw an hour. It took an hour.
1 hour, okay. And you stopped frequently during this period?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we got home at 1:30, and it was about 12:35 when we saw it.
And I don't remember whether you said you heard any sound.
I couldn't describe the sound to you, but I know I heard a sound because my window was down and I was listening for the sound. Tom said, oh, it must be a helicopter. So I was listening for the sound of a helicopter, and I remembered thinking, no, that's not the sound a helicopter makes. And then I thought, well, it's being so close, an airplane would about drown you out, and it was softer than an airplane, but I couldn't describe the sound to you.
Okay, now, you estimate that when it got to your wife's side of the car, the thing was about 50 feet away and about 250 feet altitude?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe 100 feet away.
I think it was closer to the ground than I think in terms of telephone poles, I think it was no more than 4 telephone poles high.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's about 200 feet, I guess.
Okay. Well, these distances, everything, are hard to estimate visually. Okay, is there anything you can add to that? Have you had any strange experiences since then, such as dreams?
No, I'm just all keyed up. I've been keyed up. I can't get the picture out of my mind.
Well, one interesting thing is that
that man. Yeah.
Is that somebody that she told up the street was talking to somebody at work. He works about it, and he lives in Oregon House, which is in the foothills to the east of us, and he said earlier that same night, around 9:30.
He wasn't sure if it was Monday or Tuesday.
Monday or Tuesday, and he had described seeing, independently, he had described to my wife over the phone, so I haven't talked to him yet, seeing this unusual white light and then strange red lights. And I hadn't talked to him at all. I heard her talking to him just before you called. In fact, it was about a minute, just as you called. I was getting ready to call him to get a better description, because I have been thinking that there must be some other explanation than outer space. There must be something like...
Not what I saw.
I'm trying to make it into experimental... some kind of a thing from Beale, and they don't want to tell us about it.
Yes.
And then, or that it was a giant helicopter of some sort that some guy was monkeying around. Then it seems unlikely at 12:30 in the morning this would be so, and why it would behave so strangely. And
also, what I saw looked like it'd be cost an enormous amount of money to build. Like no private person could put together something like that.
But he described, from his description to her, when she was talking about it, it seemed to fit a lot of the things I had seen.
Right.
And what can you tell us anything?
Well, all I can say is that we're getting a lot of reports of unknown objects in the sky in your area of California in the last 3 weeks.
Have you ever had anyone see the top of it, the texture of the body like that?
Oh, yes.
Has it been described the same way?
Well, variously described as looking like the surface of a golf ball, or pitted, or...
Well, did they see the ridges on it? They were so pronounced.
We have had reports of ridges, yes. Uh-huh. But we would appreciate it very much if both of you would fill out one of our questionnaires and get together and to fill out the one. It's important data that we need for our research program. It would take you just about 30 minutes.
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to get to the bottom of it.
Well, how do we get what's going on with your research? That's sort of fascinating to me.
Uh-huh. Well, we'll send you what data that we have, what printed matter that we have.
Do you have anything that fits my description?
Oh, yes, especially the behavior of that bright light.
Now, he saw the lights when I got out of the car. I didn't see the lights up close. I just saw them.
How about the red lights?
Oh, yes, the red lights are very common. Red lights, blue lights, and bright white lights.
Do they get...
We feel as part of the power system, control system of the object. They appear to be operating in complete defiance of gravity, and we feel that this has something to do with it.
Do they... has anybody seen inside the craft?
Yes. It's a very rare thing, but they have.
And how do they describe? Because I felt like I was seeing inside something.
Well, the descriptions vary, of course, anywhere from seeing instrument panels and controls to actually seeing the occupants.
What do they say about the occupants? Do they actually see the occupants, or do they see
small,
shadows?
short people, both quite distinctly outlined and shadows.
I had a distinction, there being activity going on in there and with some shadowy things going on, but I didn't see any little pictures. Well, gee whiz, is there any pattern to it yet?
No, not yet. Well, we sure appreciate...
I wonder if they're monitoring our telephones.
Could be.
How long have you been into this?
Oh, we've been in it 21 years.
Where have you patterned sightings like this, or is it sort of any pattern to the concentration of?
No, not really. It fluctuates from place to place. And of course, what we usually try when we see a heavy concentration of activity, we try to find out why they're picking on that particular area.
Have you any reason? Figure out any reason why they pick on an area?
No. Well, yes, we have too. Sometimes defense installations, military bases, certain types of industrial areas.
What about daytime sightings?
Very rare.
Because several months ago, I was driving along the highway home, and I had to. I have about a 5-mile drive, and there was a very bright reflection it was off to the right of the car again, and it was very definite. I thought it was like light shining off a wing, and it was pretty bright, and it was in the daytime, and it lasted for about 15 seconds, and then it disappeared, and I looked to see what it was up there that had been making that light reflection, and I couldn't see anything. And I had something like that, similar to that, happen, maybe 5 years ago.
Has anyone seen that white U-shaped U-shape on that thing that jets out?
No.
The answers you've come up with in the past, have you usually found some natural reason to...
Oh, yes, for some, yes. We have, first we try to determine what these things are not. And then if we can't explain them away, why, we put them into the unknown category. So we've had, several thousand unknowns.
By the way, what auspice is this? Is this a government office or?
No, sir. It's a private, small group of scientists and laymen.
All right. Are you associated with APRO?
No, sir. We do cooperate, but we're not affiliated in any way.
All right. Well, I was in Tucson here about 3 weeks ago, and I talked to L.E. Doherty. He's the office man with APRO.
Yes.
And I told him of the situation that I had made observations on some duck in a meadow in a duck lake property that I'm trying to bring back, and I'm a manager of a group of men that are interested in this. And we had not a landing, but evidently a hovering here around the middle of May, and it was just as if you took a donut cutter and punched down on it. The about 4.5 feet in the center, a little fuzzy on the far side, was standing upright. This is very fragile grass, swamp grass, what they call sweet grass. It's about 4.5 feet high, and even the beard stayed up. But everything from that edge, in a rim out about 10 feet, or a diameter of, it would be 10 and 10 plus 4 or 5, would be about a diameter of about, outside diameter of about 25 feet. That 10-foot ring outside the donut hole, outside the standing grass of 4.5 feet, was punched down, flattened, completely flat in a clockwise motion. And about 70 feet from there was another one, further out in the middle, out in the meadow, but it was round, but it wasn't as clearly delineated as the one right up next to the embankment where I was making my sighting.
Yes.
And I went down there without taking my Polaroid, so therefore I didn't take the important picture. But before I left on my vacation, I went down there and took a look at it, and this is the phenomena that I reported to Doherty when I was in Tucson. I went up to the office and talked to him for about an hour. From the inner circle, inner portion that was left standing. The grass, even with its beards of seeds, was left standing. From that edge outward, the growth progressively, there was no growth right next to new grass growth right next to the perimeter, the inner core, but the growth of grass constantly got higher away from that inner cut. The 10 feet out, it was just if you took a slant line there, you could see the new grass going up higher and higher until it finally got to the edge. Now, when I saw it yesterday, I took a picture of it yesterday because Doherty asked me to get some grass in different places, which I have a plot marked out where I picked this grass up, and I got 3 grasses at each pluck, 5 different positions, 1 in the center, 3 on the going out through the 10-foot swath, and 1 on the outside of it. He said they have a botanist who would like to run some checks on it. So I'm sending that down to him tomorrow. But in between times of working at the Duck Lake, I went down to the Wayside Tavern and had a cooling beer, and the fellow that came in runs a mobile station down there on the highway next to the dike. This, by the way, is just on the county line between Multnomah County and Columbia County on the mainland. And he told me that a fellow by the name, he talked an awful lot about observations he's been seeing. Now, I looked him up, and it took a little while to get him to talk in his confidence, see, because everybody looks at him like he's crazy. But he tells me that he has practically nightly observations there right now. He saw what he thought was a phenomenon last night with the revolving red light standing still. And he got on his CB and he talked from Scappoose to Woodland, Washington, to another CBer, and they both were on the CB and observed the same object. They had a triangulation. I don't know who the guy was in Washington. But both he and his wife have seen him. Both his wife and he have seen him separately, and also the youth, their boy, who was about 24 or 25, has seen him. And, of course, what I was interested in is, had anybody seen anything down there where our hovering was? And, of course, this is the only thing I could dig up. But he says that you can come over there almost any night and see him. As a matter of fact, he invited me back tonight to take a look if I wanted to.
Now, are these moving objects?
Yes, he says he's run the whole gauntlet. He's got the one where the tube comes down, and he says it retracts. When they turn that light off, it's a light tube. But he said when they turn it off, he says you can see it retract into the object. And he's also got the one about big enough that he's seen 10 of them dislodge from it. They go out, some of them fly back in and fly back out, but he's counted as many as 10 as come out of it. And then he's got with glasses, he's seen them as close that he's seen he's given us everything that he told me is what has always been reported. Interesting about the strobe light, or the light that went down, he claims it went down into the river, Columbia River, or thereabouts. But he said that you could actually see the light being retracted. It's just like a tube.
Right, that's quite common.
He said you can see it being retracted.
Right.
But anyway, they're having a hustle-bustle down in that area, so I stopped at, when I was in Scappoose, I went on into St. Helens, went into the county sheriff's office, and asked one of the deputy sheriffs a direct question if any UFOs been reported, and he says no, and I said thank you, and I walked out. So I stopped at the state police, and I asked the girls there in the office, and they said no, nothing has been reported. And then I was telling them about my grass situation. Of course, I'm interested in the fact that if something's going to be around there, am I going to have any ducks to shoot at this year?
Yes.
And they said nothing had been reported. But they pulled out a card out of their circular file and wrote down your name in their UFO reporting center, gave me your phone number and your post-off box and stuff like that.
Oh, great.
So I have that, and I tried to get a hold of Carol Watson, who I know is associated with APRO here in Oregon someplace. He's down in Medford. So I can't call APRO here in Oregon, so I did the next best thing, called you.
Well, I'm sure glad you did. It sounds like it would be worth the trip down there.
Well, it sounds to me like they're flapping around quite a bit. He says, well, come on back tonight. He says, bring a good pair of glasses. He says, you'll see them.
Oh, that's great. We're going to have to contact that gentleman.
Well, you've got all the dope on him.
Yes, sir.
And he's at the point right now where what he has said, nobody believes him, so he's trying to keep his mouth shut. And I told him that Mr. will probably get in touch with him, probably even tonight. And because I thought of Shady Cove, Oregon, I'd never heard of it. I lived, born and raised in Oregon. I thought, well, if that's in Salem like I thought it was, why Watson would be coming up tonight to make an investigation. But she's all on your hands now. Are you the bunch that started up here a few years ago and was published in a paper?
Yes, we were.
Yeah, I read of you.
Yeah, we originally started out with the name Aerial Phenomena Research Group.
I know of you.
And then
you put out a very fine publication at one time, if I remember right.
Right. We were pretty proud of that.
Yeah. Well, I went the other way. I joined Carol and Jim Lorenz's group.
It's a fine organization.
I'm a member of APRO.
Yes, we've met both of those people, and they're doing a beautiful job.
Yeah. She put out a nice, very, very fine, objective book here not so long ago. I suppose you read it by now.
Yes, I think I have read all of their books.
This is just published, I think, in February. Well, that's about all I can give you.
Well, sir, we sure appreciate it very much.
Carry on from here. Evidently, they're flapping quite a bit down here now.
Okay, can we feel free to get back to you anytime?
Oh, yeah, anytime.
Great.
If I have, if there's any report on this grass that I'm sending down, why, and I get anything, I'll be glad to hand it over to you.
Now, we get a lot of calls from the greater Portland area. Do you follow up on any investigations?
No, I'm not a trained investigator. I have knowledge. I have a considerable amount of knowledge, but it's probably best that I don't, because I've never reported, and I don't think basically I could be as objective as I should be. So,
okay.
But in something like this, I feel I can certainly get something started.
Okay, well, I want to thank you once again for letting us know about this.
Righto.
And we'll probably be talking to you later.
Anytime.
Thank you very much.
Right. Bye.
Hi, I'm calling long distance from California.
Yes.
I have never seen anything pertaining to any UFO or anything until 2 days ago. And I saw something, and I've been looking in the paper to see if anyone else had seen it, and I haven't found anything.
Okay, could we have a description?
Okay, this was Tuesday, October the 5th, at approximately 5 a.m. in Pacifica, California. And what I saw was something very bright orange, and it was sort of square-shaped. But it reminded me of like when the sun comes up in the east. This looked like it was going down, like by the ocean. And it wasn't completely square. The corners were a little bit raised up. And I drove about a mile down to I saw this coming down a hill. And I drove about a mile down farther to look right at the ocean. And when I had gone down to the bottom where the ocean is, it had completely disappeared. Another something that happened I thought was strange. I had only driven about 8 blocks when I had seen it. And all of a sudden there was an awful lot of fog, like, in my car. But there was no fog outside. I mean, it was very clear outside.
Could you feel anything unusual physically?
No. In a little while, I was very tired, though. I mean, I was really exhausted. I was driving across the Bay Bridge, and I was so tired, I felt like I was going to have to stop and sleep. And, but I mean, I'm sure of what I don't know what I saw, but I know that I saw something.
Now, when you first spotted this object, was it on the move?
No. It was just...
It was stationary.
Right.
And then you took off after it, right?
Well, I drove down the bottom of the hill. And I went to the ocean. I thought I'd get a better look of it. And it had completely vanished.
And then I turned around to come back up the hill because I thought, well, maybe I could only see it from one position. And I couldn't find it at all then. That was it.
Okay, was there other traffic on the road?
No, not another car.
Oh, my God.
Not one more thing. And I've been reading the papers for the last 2 days, and I haven't seen a thing about it.
Wouldn't that lack of traffic be a little unusual down there?
Oh, no, not where I'm coming from.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's before you get to the freeway.
Oh, okay.
And I was on my way up to Sacramento. But it's just a small road, probably 2 miles long, that I was on.
I see. Okay.
And when I had turned around to come back up the hill, then 2 cars went down. But I don't know if anything was said. I called the police, and they said they didn't have any reports of anything here.
Okay. Now, was this a very brilliant type object?
Very bright orange. Very bright.
Now, how was it in relation to altitude? Was it very low?
It was very low. It was like right at sea level.
Uh-huh.
It looked like, when I say a square, it's like part of it was cut off, and part was below, and then part was above the sea level.
I see.
I just lived 2 miles from the ocean. And like I said, it reminded me. And then, as I traveled towards Sacramento that day, I saw the sun come up. And it reminded me of that, only when the sun comes up, it's quite bright around the sun.
Uh-huh.
But there was no brightness around it at all. It was just orange, very orange.
And was the brightness confined to the object? It
yes.
didn't illuminate anything around it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No. But like I said, the sides of it had gone up a little bit to make it not exactly square. But I don't know. That's my first experience.
Okay, now, in your estimation, can you give me an example of how big that was? Could you compare it with anything?
Oh, Lord. I really, just big. I'd really say it would be like the size of the sun coming up.
Okay.
Only square.
Okay.
And just very orange.
Okay. Do you feel that it was quite a ways away from you, or?
No, it didn't seem to be that far away.
Uh-huh.
That's why I went down to the bottom of the hill, to go to the ocean. Because I thought, I'll get a really good look at it. I mean, I had no idea, of course, what it was. And I thought, well, if I go down the bottom of the hill, I'll be much closer and I'll see it. And that was it. I never saw another thing.
Okay, have you had any problems since that experience?
Like what?
Any strange dreams or any unusual physical or mental sensations of any kind?
No.
Okay.
Just the thing was being so very tired. And I just gotten up. I mean, I hadn't just got up. I'd been up since about 4. But when I was driving across the bridge, which was probably 5:30, I was just so tired. I thought, my gosh, I'm going to have to stop on the bridge and sleep.
Uh-huh. Any problems with the car?
No.
Okay.
Well, how could I have possibly steamed it up that much in just such, like in 3 seconds?
Right.
And it's still, we have quite a bit of fog here close to the ocean.
Uh-huh.
But it was very clear that night. Well, 5 in the morning, but it was still very clear outside. And it just struck me as, gee, how can it be so foggy inside? Or steamed up, or I didn't have my defroster on, but I didn't need it, until that point.
Right. And no problems with the car?
No.
Okay, engine, everything is running okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, we sure appreciate this call, and if we get any additional information on this incident or come up with any other witnesses, well, we'll get back to you and let you know.
Yeah, okay. That's it. I thought funny calling, but I didn't know, like I said, I've been reading the papers and haven't seen a thing, and other people have got to see it, don't they?
Yes, and that's our big problem, getting other people to call, see?
Really? Yeah.
They're still afraid of ridicule and so forth.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to get some books and start reading up, I think. You don't get interested until you have an experience like this.
Right.
Now I want to find out all I can. I told one fellow, and he said that can happen, though, that sometimes only one person might see it. Does that sound right? Something could
we've heard this, but in our research we haven't found that this is so.
Okay, well, fine. Thank you very much.
Thanks again.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Reporting center?
Yeah, hey, I'm here in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yes, sir.
I just called the police department, and they gave me your number to call.
Okay.
We just spotted, about half an hour ago, our time, 3 discus-shaped, very bright yellow color. We don't know what they are either, but they were in the southwest of town. We tried to run them down, and evidently they grouped together and disappeared below the horizon.
Oh, they were that low?
Yes. We saw them. Well, Albuquerque's pretty high altitude.
Right.
And the area around southwest of it's low. That's how come we saw them. And so when we drove out towards the southwest sea, we went down, and evidently if they were headed west, they were headed in a southwesterly direction, they would have dropped below the horizon pretty fast.
Right.
So by the time we got to the other side of town, they had disappeared. And my wife is a firm disbeliever in UFOs, and she even thinks that we're...
Okay, now, do you have any estimate on size in those?
Size? No, maybe distance. I'd say about 4 miles away,
Okay.
southwest of the airport.
All right. And they were definitely silver?
No, they were, they looked like they had their own illumination.
I see.
The sun was going down, just breaking the horizon, so that might have done it off the bottom of something.
Uh-huh.
But they're flying balloons in the area, but we knew definitely they weren't the balloons. They're flying the hot air balloon contest here this week.
You could definitely make out this discus shape?
Yes, definitely. They were discus-shaped objects. Matter of fact, one of them was sitting on about a 45-degree angle for a while.
Uh-huh. Okay, about how long did you watch those?
Oh, I'd say about 15 minutes before they disappeared.
Okay. Any estimate of exact altitude when you spotted them?
Ooh, it'd be kind of hard to say without knowing the size. I'd say, well, they were about...
How many degrees above the horizon?
That's what I was going to say, 20 degrees above the horizon line when we first saw them. They moved down towards the horizon as we moved towards them. And the traffic kind of held us up from getting out there.
Did you ever have time to get out of the car and watch them?
No. Well, yeah, we were in the one of the shopping center parking lots when my son first spotted them.
Oh, I see.
He's a UFO dude from way back, too.
Uh-huh.
And he spotted them, and at the time, we only saw 2. When we started driving out to see if we couldn't get closer to them, we saw a 3rd one.
Okay, now did these things just stick together, or were they any kind of a pattern?
Well, there were 2 together, and then one looked like it might have been, 700-800 yards, half a mile from the other 2.
Uh-huh.
But the 2 did kind of stick together, and 2 of them looked like they were fairly large, and one kind of small.
Okay, were they stationary or on the move when you first sighted them?
When we first saw them, they were just sitting there. They were moving slightly, just barely, because I kept the line on them with the telephone line. And they moved below the line, which means they were heading southwest at the time.
Okay.
At a very low rate of speed, if any at all, like they were just drifting.
Right. Did they seem to increase at any time? Increase the speed?
Not noticeably, no. Other than the fact that they, when we turned, we were headed down a block and we had our eye on them. When we turned the corner, they had disappeared.
Okay.
There was a house on the corner, and when we came around the corner, they weren't there anymore.
Okay.
And these hot air balloons they fly around here ain't that fast.
Okay. How's the sky conditions?
Perfectly clear.
Okay.
And limited visibility.
Are you in the military?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'm an aircraft mechanic. Somebody tried to tell me they were aircraft landing lights. I know better.
Yeah.
They weren't even the right color.
Okay, how many witnesses in the group?
Let's see, all 5 of us saw it.
5, okay.
And there were 3 or 4 other people in the parking lot that saw it. As a matter of fact, one guy ran a grocery cart into a car, not looking where he was going.
Uh-oh. Okay, any aircraft in the sky at the time?
Yes, there was one small aircraft. It was a Piper Comanche or Cherokee dual engine job.
Did it seem to be paying any attention to these objects?
It was flying due north.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll get on this, and if we come up with anything on our investigation, we'll get back to you and let you know.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it. Hey, and I got on the radio on the CB, and it was so jammed up that I couldn't get anything through. I was going to try to find out if anybody else had them spotted.
You mean it was jammed up with radio chatter or static?
Yeah, and static, both. Kind of terrible for, usually it's nice and crisp around here because of the atmosphere here. We're so high up and everything. We can get out 7-8 miles on a CB here.
Do you have any did the static seem to clear up after these things disappeared?
Yeah, it's a lot better now.
Okay. Well, we sure appreciate this report, and like I say, if we get any more on it, well, I will definitely get back to you and let you know.
Well, I sure appreciate it.
Where did you get our number?
The Albuquerque Police Department.
Great. Thanks again.
Okay.
Bye. UFO Reporting Center?
Yeah, this is, where's this located?
Washington.
Washington, D.C.?
No, state.
Oh, I was going to say, whoa. You're not going to believe this, or maybe you are. This is Deputy from the Sheriff's Office in San Diego, California.
Yes.
And if I'd have seen it myself, I think I was just flipping out and I would have quit. But I had 2 witnesses with me, and we just saw a couple of things that none of us can explain. And our business office heard us talking about it on the radio, and they said we ought to call you.
Okay, I'd like to hear about it.
Well...
Can you talk from that phone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They were kind of cylindrical in shape. I mean, they look kind of like maybe a cigar that was fat in the middle.
Yes.
That's how you kind of tapered at each end.
Uh-huh.
And it had a real bright, extremely bright, white light right in the middle of it. And it had rings on each end. It looked like black ring, like the rings around the planet Saturn or whatever that is. It has rings. Okay, it looked like it had a couple of them on the end. And then the first one I saw, I thought a plane was crashing. We were in a remote area on top of a mountain, and it was dark all around us. There's no other lights or obstructions or anything. And we were out there checking a stolen car, and I looked at this thing, and I thought a plane was. I almost called the business office and said there's a plane crashing because it had extremely bright, just bright, red, flashing. I don't know what it was, if it was lights or it was letting out gaseous fumes or what, but it looked like it was on fire. It was just bright, and it wasn't that far away from us, just stood there. And then I realized it was hovering. It was just hovering there. And that continued for, 2 or 3 minutes, and then the extremely red stuff died down, and then we saw all sorts of flashing red, blue, green, and what other color? Red, blue, green, and white and orange. But the white was just a steady white coming right out of the middle, just a continuous glow, and all these other lights were flashing around it. And we got the binoculars out, and we're looking at the thing through that, and it just continued to hover there for about 5 minutes. And then all at once, it just shut everything down except this continuous glowing white, and it just took off. And I mean, took off. I'd never seen anything disappear so fast in my life. And
Which direction?
It went west.
Okay.
Toward the ocean, and it continued to gain altitude. And I was watching it through the binoculars, and I could see it extremely well when we first observed it. And I'd say probably the complete time it took it to disappear from sight through a pair of 8x50 binoculars was a total of maybe 12 seconds at the most. I mean, it just was gone. It just took off and it was gone.
Uh-huh.
So I called, this other guy we were talking about it, we called my beat partner on the radio, and I asked him if he happened to see it, and he didn't. And approximately 5 minutes later, I observed a second one doing the same thing. This one was quite a bit further away. It was over what we call Mount Woodson area. And he could observe this one, and this one continued to hover at quite an extreme altitude, but the same thing, bright red, green, blue, orange, and yellow flashing light with a continuous white glow out of the middle for, approximately 15 minutes. And then all at once it did the same thing, shut everything down and just took off like a bat out of hell. And it only took it about 5 seconds to disappear from view. Now, it was at such an altitude that I could not detect any sort of shape like on this other one,
Yes.
And could not see the rings, except for once it looked like both rings were on one side of it. But I mean, it was at such a distance away, it was kind of, I'm eating lunch, hazy through the binoculars even. The only thing you could really tell for sure was that the extremely bright red, blue, and all these other lights. And I mean, it just hovered in one spot. We had a good point of reference. It was a bright star directly adjacent to it, and it never wavered an inch. And then all of a sudden, boy, she just was gone.
Okay, do you have any estimate in size on those?
Oh, man, I couldn't tell you. The first one we saw, I would say, was extremely large. But due to the altitude, I really couldn't get a reference point to tell, how close the thing was to it.
Right.
It could have been clear out over the ocean, for all I know. But it looked like it was maybe a mile away and about the size of a football field, wouldn't you say? Yeah. My partner agreed. He says it was extremely big. But like I said, there's no telling how far away from us it was. And with all those flashing lights, I really couldn't tell. But I think what we saw at first was some sort of fuel burn-off or something, because it really looked, there was flames, and it looked like a plane was on fire and was going down is what it looked like. It just hovered dead still for a good 5 minutes at least. And we saw the first one at 7:45, and the second one, after that one disappeared, about 5 minutes later, would have made it about 5 minutes to 8.
Okay.
Still don't really believe it. It's kind of like I'm trying to talk myself out of I saw it. It's weird.
Right. Were these fairly low?
The first one was very low. It looked like it was extremely low. The second one was a pretty high altitude.
Okay.
Where the first one, man, it looked like it was maybe, what would you say? It was lower than Mount Woodson. It was lower than the field of Mount Woodson. That would have made it. Our elevation here is about 1,300 feet, and Mount Woodson's about, 26, ain't it? So it looked like it was below the peak of Mount Woodson, so I'd guess maybe 2,000 feet. But there was also a third officer that saw the second one, and he was on his way to take a runaway report.
And about, that was 7:45 for the first one, about 7:55 on the second one.
Right.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. What are you going to do, send the guys in the white suits to pick me up?
No way.
Tomorrow. I ain't kidding you. If there hadn't been somebody with me and I'd seen that first one, I'd really thought I'd flipped out.
Okay, if we send you a questionnaire, would you take a little time to fill it out?
You bet.
It takes about 30 minutes. It's
I've
quite
heard
technical.
people tell me about seeing things before, and I always thought, I've seen a lot of civilian aircraft and military aircraft and Navy aircraft, and as far as I know, we ain't got nothing that can do that and is equipped with that kind of lighting devices.
Was that light the brilliant white light such that it did any illumination of the sky?
No, I wouldn't say it actually illuminated the sky. It was just a steady, continuous, bright glow. And it didn't illuminate the ground or anything like that.
And that light stayed on?
That light was continuous. And the other ones just kind of flashed and came on and would stay on for a bit and die down. And it's kind of hard to explain, really.
Okay.
Yeah, right. That's a good description. Like, have you ever seen one of these handheld, what they call sparklers? These kids hold these sparklers.
Sure.
That's what it looked like. A real continuous glow out of the middle, and then all these other colors going around it.
Okay. Well, we sure appreciate this, and if we get any additional information on this case, why, we'll get back to you and let you know.
Okay.
In the meantime, we'll get that questionnaire off.
All right. I'd be happy to fill it out for you.
Thank you very much.
See you later.
Bye.